Shout out to these parents for defending their children. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about mostly Armenian and Hispanic parents in Glendale, California, who were literally fighting in the streets against so-called Antifa and other rabble-rousers over the LGBTQ indoctrination of their children, which unfortunately is the law in California as it relates to the public school system. Now, the school board in Glendale voted to have June as Pride Month, and that is going to be part of their curriculum. So I'm not sure what they're going to do, what kind of lesson plan they're going to have for Pride Month. But it was not only June as Pride Month, there were also days and months throughout the year that they would recognize LGBTQ stuff in the school system. I think there was a Trans Day of Remembrance, a National Coming Out Day. There were quite a few days throughout the year where their kids would be faced with LGBTQ indoctrination. And the kicker is that there is no opt-out. So the parents have no say-so in the matter. Your kids going to school in California, Glendale, California, well, hey, it is what it is. This is what's going to be, and you got to take it. And the parents did not like that one bit. So they went out there to the school board and protested, and there was violence as a result. Now, we're going to get into quite a few videos. First, we're going to see some of the fight footage and then hear a little bit more detail. Then we're going to hear from one of the members of the LGBT community about their particular perspective. And we're also going to see another clip from the opposite side of the country where the same thing is going on. Now, let's go ahead and jump straight into the videos. If you want to see anything in full without my commentary, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Melvin, Jen, good morning. That clash over Pride curriculum here at the Glendale Unified School District headquarters, and there were hundreds of people that showed up here in the parking lot to demonstrate. Take a look. Sky Fox was over the scene, and you can see the moments when that crowd became violent here. Dueling protests outside the Glendale Unified Board meeting that led to law enforcement declaring an unlawful assembly. Meanwhile, inside, the school board was voting on reconsidering Pride curriculum, highlighting LGBTQ plus issues that has been in place since 2019. Glendale Unified says it follows California law, which states that every person on campus has a right to be referred to by their preferred pronoun.
Can we pause for a minute? Now, it may have been there since 2019 or whatever, but I'm not sure to what extent it had been, I guess you would say, enforced in Glendale, because I'm sure each school district in the state may do things differently. So I'm not sure to what extent it had been enforced and how much of the curriculum was LGBT. And also, parents sometimes don't always know what's happening. They're not always really aware of the level of indoctrination. They may know that there's some LGBTQ stuff being taught, but then when it comes to a national day coming out and you got little kids coming out, you got drag queen story time, you got all that stuff happening, they might not know the extent of what's happening. And you got quite a few people who are traditional, conservative, religious, and they don't like that. So they're going to come out and protest.
Meanwhile, parents and community members on both sides showed up to demonstrate.
They need to stop asking little children what they sexually identify as. Children are not sexual beings, nor should they be.
I think it's really important to be here to stand up for all children and not be...
What does all children mean? I don't think that a child can be transgender. I don't think so. I mean, the child does not really know what's going on because they're kids. They don't get it. That's why you cannot do certain things or consent to certain things as a child, and you got to be an adult. So I'm not sure who this person is, but this is ridiculous. You see, they got them hater blockers on because they don't want to reveal their identity, because that's not really a thing you would go out there and say, yeah, a kid can be 5 years old and consent to becoming transgender. Ridiculous.
Exclusive. We are an inclusive community.
Whatever.
The school board later did vote unanimously to declare June Pride Month and move forward with the curriculum. Advocates say LGBTQ plus representation in school studies is important. Opponents say they don't want the content to be introduced to children. Police, meanwhile, say many of the protesters here at this demonstration were also present during a violent exchange between demonstrators outside Saticoy Elementary in North Hollywood last week over a scheduled Pride assembly. And back out here live, Glendale police say 3 people were arrested here in the parking lot yesterday.
Now that's pretty much a video right there, but we have more. We have more. This video right here, Here's a caption. It says, last night at the Glendale School Board meeting in California, a man in a skirt who said he's a father of three, quote unquote, tells the board that parents who object to their kids being taught LGBT have the same ideology of the Proud Boys and hide their hate behind their children as the Proud Boys hide behind their masks. So let's check it out here. This guy's outfit is completely ridiculous. And this guy has kids, man. Call the police. Let's continue.
Dear GUSD School Board, I want to say thank you for your service to this community. As a father of three, having a child in the school system since 2008, I want to thank you and your predecessors for helping to create an inclusive, diversified learning environment which allows our children to thrive. When my children learn about Armenian heritage, they're not being indoctrinated. My children learn about the
Whoa. Armenian heritage? Like, how is that the same thing as LGBTQ? Okay, you're talking about historical things that have actually happened. Okay, this is when they were founded. This is what they did this time and that time or whatever. So that was a direct shot at the Armenian parents. Now we're talking about LGBTQ. You're talking about things that are perverted when they're taught to children. This guy right here could just be gay, but why does he got to come dressed like a little schoolgirl? This is perversion, not just somebody that's gay. It's a difference. And I don't like how they try to link perversion to someone's sexuality, because when you're talking about perversion, then they want to say you're being a homophobe. It's not even about that. I don't care if you're gay, sir, but what are you wearing right now? And you trying to talk about brainwashing children. See, you're blurring lines between things that should not be linked together.
The KKK and white nationalism, they're not being indoctrinated into the Proud Boys. So when my children are about my community, the LGBTQIA+, they're not being indoctrinated. No ideology spoken. Our children are being educated, and thankfully there are some parents that are more.
And you know, the problem with what's happening right now, and I don't mean to be free from on the guy right there. Shout out to that hat. Save the tomboys. Yes, please save the tomboys, because maybe some girls might just be a little bit rugged, a little bit masculine. It doesn't mean that they want to be transgender. We're going way too far down the rabbit hole. Okay, we're going way too far down. But back to what I was saying, the clapping or the snapping that you heard, that's a part of the problem right there. A lot of these grown adult men and women support stuff like this, which is part of the reason why there's so much brainwashing of children, which is why it's a law in California to have LGBT indoctrination in school. Like, you gotta have the LGBT stuff in school. Now, again, to what extent it's enforced from different cities, locales, townships, counties, or whatever, may be a different thing. But it is part of the law in California. And those who are in that crowd clapping and supporting this dude looking like Pippi Longstockings or the Wendy's character, they're the problem. Let's continue.
Ideology spoken. Our children are being educated, and thankfully there are some parents that are more concerned about hiding honest that their ideology is the same as the Proud Boys. So anyone that's got up here or gets up here and says, we don't hate you, it's about the children, are hiding their hate behind their children, just as Proud Boys hide behind their masks. So thank you again for your service to our community, and know that actual community members.
Is this like late stage Republic nonsense? Is that kind of what's going on? Are we about to fall? I hope not. I really do hope not. You got too many young people out here that have so much promise. I hope that we don't fall anytime soon.
Actual parents, actual business owners, actual volunteers, and actual elected officials are here to say thank you, we support you, and we love you.
Oh boy. Okie dokie. So that's that. Now there's one more video I got for you guys. Now this video is from across the country in Maryland. All right. The caption says, Maryland Democrat Kristen Mink of Montgomery County, shout out to Moco, not her, but shout out to Montgomery County, said Muslim children who speak out against LGBTQ reading material were on the side of white supremacists. You heard that right. If you're a Muslim and you are religious, you are a white supremacist. We've gone full, complete R word.
This issue has unfortunately it does put some, not all, of course, but some Muslim families on the same side of an issue as white supremacists and outright bigots. And, however.
Can we stop for a minute? Just because I share the same view on a thing as people that you see as bad does not mean that it's bad. Okay. Like, check it out. Maybe white supremacists like hamburgers and hot dogs at a cookout. I do too. Does that mean the hamburgers and hot dogs at a cookout are somehow bad? Is that what that means? Maybe not. Maybe not. So I don't like that false correlation thing. I don't like that at all.
The folks who I've talked to here today, I would not put in the same category as those folks, although, you know, it's again complicated because they're falling on the same side of this particular issue.
That was complete word salad, unnecessary. You just wanted to make that correlation between people that say, you know what, maybe we don't want to have LGBTQ indoctrination. You just want to make them be bad people and make them be the equivalent of white supremacists or racists. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to all the parents who are sensible, who want their children to be protected away from all this nonsense. I know it's hard out here in a place like Los Angeles, in a place like DC, Moco, Maryland, whatever. I know it's hard. So you guys are doing the Lord's work. Thank you for doing what you do. I support you in whatever kind of way I can. I just hope that you guys are not going to be outnumbered. I showed you that clip of the guy dressed like he's about to go out there and sell a little something strange for a little piece of change on Figueroa. Matter of fact, he might not be suited for Fig, but different story. I digress. The whole point is the room full of people that were applauding that particular person, that's a problem. That is going to be your battle right there. The school board is one battle. California lawmakers is one battle, but it's the people that support the laws in California that say they can brainwash and indoctrinate your children. That's going to be the battle right there. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about all of what's happening here? Glendale, California, Montgomery County, Maryland, and everywhere in between. The brainwashing of children, outright brainwashing, not even trying to hide it. You got guys coming to the school board meeting dressed up in their weekend fetish gear. They don't even care. It's like, yeah, I'm out here. This is what it is. And they want to have your children become more like them. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. It's a crazy, evil world we live in. And it's going to take all of us working together to fight against it. Because if we don't, we're going to get worse and worse and worse, you know, because it's never going to be enough with these people. They'll say, okay, first, let's get married. Then let's do this. Then let's do that. And before you know it, 5-10 years time, the society in which we live will be unrecognizable and everything is going to go. And then at a certain point, the society in which we live will crumble because there's nothing that brings us together. There's no real solid foundation. And we're going to fall. We're going to be the next Rome. We'll just completely fall off. And they'll be like, hey, what happened? America was so great. Well, there were some signs of some cracks in the armor, cracks in the foundation. But if we don't do anything to shore up the foundation and fix it before it collapses, it will collapse. And that'd be a very terrible thing, not only for us, but for the entire world. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.